top of North America. I hope that they can join the likes of, well, now M80, like you said, Liquid and Complexity as being that number 4 NA team that can compete, because there was a long while where there was just Liquid sometimes and Complexity sometimes, and that was it. But now we're starting to get past the dark ages of North American Counter-Strike, and we're getting more and more teams into the mix. Maybe, just maybe, Wildcard will be that next one to take the step up. All that being said, we are into the action here. Map number 1 on Inferno. We are repeating the maps we saw yesterday, as Wildcard won this one. They played it yesterday 13-7. Can they repeat that themselves?
They're already looking to be assertive and fight fire with the push down mid. Unfortunately, Legacy, they realise what's up straight away, and they do a really good job of reasserting and repathing their way toward the A bomb site, all the way through the apartments. Wildcard's aggression has been kind of cancelled out, and now Demal getting 2 and Lato with 1 of his own. They're all set up on the A site. 1 on site, 1 pit, 1 apartments. Every single angle looks to be covered. Fuzi and Stanislaw can try and work their way back in, and Barton has now shoulder peeked out 1. He should get this kill, and he will against Stan. Now Fuzi has been spotted out. He'd be wise to try and get maybe 1 tap and fall back and save his Kevlar, but I think now he's looking just to try and lock them in and save that Kevlar straight up. Well done for Legacy. When they realised what was up there from what Wildcard put into play, they avoided it quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, Legacy are happy to oblige whenever a fast-paced play comes through. Like, oh, you're pushing us? Okay, well, we'll just keep fighting and moving forward, and that works. So Legacy are really able to run through Wildcard, even though the trades were relatively good on Wildcard's side. They came out of it at a man disadvantage, and Legacy just stormed onto the A site. Zero hesitation on their side, and they pick up the first round. Wildcard, they're not too shabby on the force buys, though. 2 MP9s, the FAMAS and the 5.7s available for them. On the other side, Legacy opting to go a little bit lighter on the weaponry to make sure that the utility is stronger. That means 4 Galils and a MAC-10 available to them. That MAC-10's probably just there to try and farm some money, but with the full armor on Sus, I was going to say on more players, but it's only Sus with the full armor. That'll be a little more difficult for the MAC-10,
Wow.
but the armor in general is tough. Yeah, look at those nades sail on through. Fuzi is down for the count. Barton actually takes a lot of damage, more than he probably would have liked, given how low Fuzi was, from that nade barrage.
Yeah, that's a shame for Fuzi. Obviously in an impactful position. He has gone for that rifle, obviously. That Kevlar save, something you can afford. It is an option if you want to force around it. And now, how do they recover? Barnes going to take it on that 12 HP, 5.7 on site. Great nade. Now that softened them up significantly. And they're still looking like they want to go off of this. 50 seconds, and there are 3 players on the site. The brawl is instantaneous, and they're going into JBA. Stanislaw is there. Sus will get his. Dumal really tries his best, but the stack is what pays off, and the crossfire was too good for Legacy to deal with.
Yeah, the stack was great, but JVA, the flick on the spray transfer was crazy. You'd think, okay, he gets 1, maybe no. He gets both players after getting the first on the site and realizing someone's up close. I thought he might have even had the third, but it was his teammate that ended up getting it. Wow, great work from JBA. Timeout going to be called here. I believe this is technical in nature. So waiting for everything to get going. But man, oh man, I mentioned it. They're very solid on their force buys. And again, they're a great read on what Legacy likes to do. And even at the beginning of the round, right, when Barton finds that opener, perhaps Wildcard made the adjustment, said, okay, you know, they're probably going to come A. They've done this before against us on Inferno, and they were absolutely right. All right, let's see what Legacy's going to do. Yeah, they're forcing up. The force by wars have started, and let's see if Wildcard will be able to put them to rest quickly.
Here the chat messages ticking through. Hopefully we're back underway. That means, and it does. So, Wildcard. Great call. And I think that's one of the things that has impressed me so much about this Wildcard team in the games I've seen from them internationally and regionally, is that they stick to their guns on their calls, and they don't tend to do anything too wild. Obviously, it's kind of funny I say that considering what we saw yesterday with how that game kind of went very weirdly. But rounds like that, where they make a decision, go for the stack, maybe it's based off of a read, and they go straight for it, and it's successful, and it's nice as well. But the pace here for Legacy is going to be nailed down with that PC50 already running his way up towards short, but JBA is doing a brilliant job. And it's actually a carbon copy of the previous round. Stan and JBA team up. Sad's in. Oh no. Actually, they do turn and look for it, but he still gets 2 kills incredibly. So M4 to take. Round's still alive.
Wow, just tucked in there in an off angle, and they overlook him. Fuzi takes care of the last 2, though. Everything's fine. Sadzin and Dumao are eliminated, so it will be 2-1 for Wildcard. And it's interesting to see, you know, Legacy were just as aggressive against Nouns in that previous series that they played, and in those types of rounds, they were winning them. Nouns couldn't really rebuff them. They were having issues finding their aim and really being effective against Legacies, even when their pistols and Tech 9s were coming through, like in that situation. But Wildcard, I mean, they look a lot sharper, and we've already hyped them up a lot as being that next big team that's here in North America, and you can see the difference, essentially, on how those all-out pushes aren't as effective against Wildcard as they were previously against Downs. Another time out here, Travis. I'm getting a little worried. All right, we're good. We're good. It was a brief one.
We're figuring things out quickly today, thankfully. So far. So yeah, Wildcard rewarded now. There's full eco to go against, and they still have the 2 MP9s in play. It means this cash can definitely be bolstered once again. It's obviously, yeah, some of these North American teams, they do have to bring in imports to really kind of find their identity, it feels like. Obviously, MSC have done that with Sin and Slacks from Germany, and of course, Susp and Fuzi have been obviously bouncing around the scene a little bit in Sweden. Obviously, Susp was kind of on Menesport for a while, and I felt like he has been kind of done dirty because I think he's very talented.
Yep.
So that's why I decided to make the jump with a comrade of his, and it's gone quite well so far. Fuzi is a player that has been around the block, been on NIP, playing some big games in his career, and it's just that extra little bit of experience and know-how that goes along with Stan and Sonic's experience that seems to have helped Wildcard so much in their matches recently. Legacy looking to obviously try and get the same. They've got lots of tournaments coming up of Legacy. I think most importantly for them will be the Americas RMR, and obviously the Thunderpick World Championship as well that they qualified for, which is going to be very interesting to see how they do internationally, because we've seen a little bit less of that in Wildcard recently.
Definitely. Yeah, I think obviously when they were 0-0 Nation, they had a decent amount of competitions they were competing in, right? But as Legacy, I agree with you. There needs to be more that will come through to show us what these guys are really made of, especially on the big stage. All right, Wildcard. They've got a bonus round coming through. If they win this one, they'll really start to get control of this first half. A couple of MP9s, a Galil, and 2 M4s. Barton already pushed towards the apartments, and Wildcard yesterday were quite aggressive at times down Banana, and they were trying to gain that pretty deep control, especially on their eco rounds, where I recall yesterday they had an eco and Legacy walked right into the web and they struck, destroyed them, and that was a critical juncture on the CT side for Wildcard. This time around, though, they go a little more passive and actually get punished for it. Sonic just peeking around with utility. I think he was trying to shoulder peek, but went a little too far. Now Susp is very much exposed. They're not clearing U-Box! They've overlooked it completely! Susp gets a freebie. Now he smokes himself out and is trying to slip away, although a lot of damage is being done. Yeah, he doesn't get away, but look at this in the meantime. JVA manages to catch off Barton, swinging around is Stanislaw and Fuzi as well. Sadzin dealing with both of them, and Wildcard seemingly unable to convert on their bonus round, and I think it's just Sonic a little bit too far around that corner at the beginning of the round as Legacy were coming up Banana, and once that is punished, Susp, who can't do much more.
When you're left on an island, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So, especially on B, I feel like it's the only chance maybe you really have in that situation is if you'd have an AWP, for example, and you can duck and dive and get those instant kills, but the rifle, it's so tough. JBA is going to be saving the AK. Of course, Legacy have not built up any money yet, so they're not going to be hunting too hard. They just keep themselves in CT. Keep 3 players up. Wildcard can rebuy. I think the craziest thing, actually, you know, having covered quite a lot of Medisport before, so of course moved away from the EU scene and from Medisport. Medisport have made some maybe slightly questionable decisions when it comes to their roster. I think losing ZTR was one of the biggest. Obviously, Adam B and Susp are brothers, and they look somewhat alike, for sure. And they are both absolute monsters in terms of, I guess, how good they do in the gym, because they're still both 19 years of age, which is incredible when you look at their pictures. It's like, oh my god, this guy must be, you know, a 26-year-old bodybuilder or something. But yeah, they're still incredibly young and they've got a lot of their career ahead of them. And that's maybe not something you really remember or consider, because, sure, they're known names, but they've actually been around longer than a lot of people realise. So to still be that young and still be in sort of the infancy of your career almost gives a lot of promise to players like Susp, for sure. So I'm glad to see he's got success outside of EU.
The goal is to go back there, right, and show all the naysayers they were wrong.
True.
Right.
Especially Medisport.
Exactly. I was going to say. Especially your former team. Sadzine and Nikis, Dumao going in towards Banana, flashbang. And no one really there to challenge. Wildcard playing a lot more passively down Banana this time, and that smoke goes down immediately as soon as the Molotov comes in, covering Sonic off, and he can't get a frag just yet, trying to rely on Sus, but he can't either. Tons of damage done, but no frags to speak of for Wildcard. Dumao and Lato on notice. On the other side, JBA, Fuzi, and Stanislav have to start thinking, hey, we're out of position. There's not much time left for us to get back into this bomb site, and our money is kind of running out. So it looks like Wildcard are going to have to call for the save here, Trav.
That one was a little bit more awkward for Wildcard. Obviously, they were all disrupted slightly by the utility that was coming their way, but I feel like Sonic, you know, he kind of does his best from quad, but it's difficult to you know, get more than one from that position. And then, of course, you know, Susp feels like he has to peek to help his teammate. And it's weird, right? Because I think both M4s are pretty much as powerful as the other. They have their, you know, advantages and disadvantages. I really do feel like the M4A4 is a lot harder to get one, control, and fall back in that position. I feel like the A1S is always a lot more successful from dark, and the A4, you know, does the damage because it's so hard to control the spray compared to the A1S. Exactly.
I think it's just at range, the A1S is better. At that specific range right there. So, yeah, A1S is far superior. I think with the A4, you're usually trying to play closer angles because the spray doesn't matter as much when you're up close and personal. And with, like for example, if you're on Dust2 and you're going on B, okay, we'll get back to this point. Sus going to get the opener here onto Dumao, and Sonic gets a team kill, but he does manage to find another enemy as well. Despite that, we're sitting at a 3v3. Sadzine, 39 HP. And now we're at a bit of a standstill, but Sadzine, I mean, you can't keep Legacy standing still for too long. They very much like to move forward and take the aggressive stances. 1:12 on the clock.
I appreciate the change up there from Wildcard, because the last 2 rounds they've sat back on B, got executed upon, and got entried. So they fight this time, and that is exactly what you should do. Sure, it's awkward with the team kill in the mix and everything, but you know, shit happens. That's the sort of thing that can get figured out. But Fuzi is rotated in, and he's done well to deal with Sadzine. And maybe they weren't expecting the AWP to be there on that timing. They need to break open the smoke. Lato realizes that, and Legacy might just try and shift their way in. Rather than make a lot of noise about this with their incendiary and their nade, they're going to just go in carefully. But unfortunately, there's some careful plays coming in from Wildcard. Unfortunately, even though that boost was exactly the right thing to do at that timing, it's being watched by Lato, and now 2v2.
That is honestly really heads-up play from Lato, because it felt like they were going to get caught with their backs turned, but Lato was ready and waiting. He can't end off Fuzi with the op, and Fuzi misses the shot, and Barton has the spray down. There it is, 2K, and Legacy, they've got a lead now, 4-3. Felt like Wildcard. We're going to close that one up with a pretty bow, but Barton had other things to say.
I feel like Wildcard don't actually do much wrong in that round, you know. Like, they make some mistakes, obviously, with the team kill, you know. That's just unfortunate, though. Fuzi rotates in, he gets his kill. The boost up was the right thing to do, it's just that Lato was watching for it. Obviously, you have a man advantage, you may as well make that risk happen. And they even make sure they pretty much double pick Barton at the end there. They swung together, it's just a case of missing shots. The plays are correct, but the shots were missed. And I think that's the summary of the round for Wildcard.
Here, Legacy.
And Barton played well, deserves to
Yeah,
be say.
he did. And I think that missed shot, Fuzi wants it back.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second.
Wow.
Sus going to get the headshot despite being blind. I think Sonic Keys just a moment before the flashbang came in. So he uses that intel very effectively. And there's a gun on the ground now. Do they ferry it away? I don't think so. I don't think they have the luxury of kind of hunting that one down. So they're just going to retreat off of Banana, at least to check out the flank. I don't know if they're going to completely rotate off. Doesn't look like it. Just want to see if anyone's pushed up from Wildcard. And on the Wildcard side, they're expecting an A hit at this point. They're shifting their forces around, obviously trying to stack the correct site, given the more light buy-up that they've afforded themselves here.
The rotation so far is good for Wildcard, and with 30 seconds, I can't see the bomb going back to A just yet. And look at that flank coming through in middle. That's going to be Stan. It's going to be obviously worried about. And there you go. Okay. Fuzi gets his kill. And, of course, as they're trying to hop away, Stan is on the site as well. 16 seconds for this bomb to rotate. They were kind of locked in for a split second, but they do have one path to make it through. But Stan has got here in time, like I was thinking. And he's just going to be waiting for this plant. He's going to get that one kill. That should be enough to make the madness happen. And yes, you're absolutely right. Stanislaw has read that round to absolute perfection. Lato does incredible work to stay alive there. It deserves to be said, otherwise he would have gone down after time. But Wildcard just read Legacy like a book there.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, the first shot, right? The first frag that comes through from Susp is fantastic. But then all the way on the flank comes Fuzi and gets a beautiful 1D. The bomb planter wasn't even looking that direction. He was setting up util. After that, what I liked even more is that Fuzi does not stay at bottom banana. It's very tempting to go back and repeak it and try to get another Wandig time and time again, but he fades off towards T-spawn. Legacy's left looking, saying, where did he go? Meanwhile, he's rotating around to try and get on a flank towards that A site, and Stan only needs to deny the bomb plant one time in order to win the round, and that's exactly what he pulls off. He had the read as well that they were rotating, and probably thanks to Fuzi, who was on the back line saying, hey guys, I hear them moving around. You should probably rotate over and deny this plant. Wow. I think Legacy needs better time management in that situation for sure, because it didn't necessarily fare well for them, and they waited too long at B without executing. And again, we can't forget that was an eco, something Wildcard has, well, one done to them previously yesterday, and today that's the first eco they win, and they also won the force buy on round number 2. So Legacy could have a bigger lead right now if they were a little more cautious. And this is something, sorry, Travis, I'm talking for a long time here, but Stanislaw was excellent yesterday in anti-eco situations, right? We complimented him in his how methodical he was just on an anti-eco on Ancient, trying to convince Legacy that they were going in one direction, then, you know, just going around the map and taking care of business. So,
that's kind of one of the things I was bringing up earlier. Like, when they read the map, it feels like they're very proactive and make the decision in time, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, mistakes can happen, and that doesn't work out all the time. But in that situation, they had Fuzi locking them in. They had 4 on B. He got the kill in the back. It dropped the bomb. They realised that, you know, that player was, of course, not then fighting any longer, and had that one path to get through to A. But Stan was just already there. Talking of being already there, they're already up mid in this round for Legacy, and JBA and Pitt is going to have a lot on his plate, and he's just going to get completely cleared by Sadzin. It's going to have to be Fuzi. He's got so many angles to worry about, though, and the fact he's being wrapped on through long means it's impossible for him. Lato gets 2, and immediately Legacy hit back.
It's like, it's not really that complicated for Legacy either. They're just saying, okay, let's rush A. Let's throw our smokes and get onto A site and try to overload, and it's just confidence in their ability in those types of potentially chaotic situations to win the duels, and they do this time, even though Wildcard have rebuffed them here and there. Sonic and Sus just going to save the guns, and there will be another buy-up coming through from Wildcard after this if the guns are saved through. And I can't imagine they won't be, because Legacy shouldn't be hunting right now. The operative word, there we go, got the words out, being shouldn't, because their money is not that great, but Legacy is hard to slow down sometimes.
Yeah, it's hard to slow down actually is a good description, because you saw there, was it 1 minute 20?
Yeah.
Once they'd got top mid, they were qualms, no hesitations on what they wanted to do. Had a utility for their play, and they went straight for it. JBA and Pit was blinded up, mollied. It can be hard to keep your cool when there's so much utility flying in around you, and even if he found his one, and to be fair, I think even if his site mate found his one as well, I don't think they would have won that round, because Fuzi was very stuck. Would have got wrapped on either way. Good work from Lato. See, with a slight lead, Wildcard have a bye again. So we get toward the end of the first half. Still opportunity for both teams to grab a lead.
They have a very close first half yesterday, if I recall correctly. Was it not 6-6? Am I crazy?
I think it was. I'll look for you.
Yeah. Thank you. We get into the action here. 1:05 on the clock. All 5 players for Legacy going B. Looks like they just want to send it straight up again. Smoke's going to get thrown out. 2 miles ahead of it. Yep, gets the frag onto Sus. Fuzi on the site, does manage to rotate forward and hits a shot on Lato through the smoke, in fact. Tries for another one, a no-scope, but no one is within reach of that shot, and now Fuzi going to have to back off and wait for reinforcements to arrive as Legacy plants that bomb.
Need to break open the smoke, trying to do something with it, but this is just so tough, isn't it? The fact that Sonic's got that one defuse kit makes me think that's why they're giving it a bit more of a look. They are all here. We've got one player backing away. Maybe it's a setup utility. That, of course, is Fuzi. He's got that flash ready, and they're going to throw that in right now. Biden forced off the dark boxes, and Stan actually does get that kill, but the time is so low. They're trying to launch their way in, but Biden and Dumao are doing a good job. Sonic finally gets the kills, but time is just too low. Sanzin knows what to do here, even though he does get peeked, and he does get headshot. And he will get the kill. Sure, the dink does mean he goes down to the bomb, so everyone dies in that round. But Legacy, even though it got a bit mad at the end, it did feel like they had that under control.
Yeah, time not going to be called here from Wildcard. I do agree with you. Like, it was a little chaotic, and credit to Wildcard for getting all the eliminations, even though one of them was from the bomb. But Legacy really locked it down. That dark corner player could have been overloaded, but some nice shots, good crossfire setup for Legacy led to it being only down to a 1v1 instead of being greater numbers in favor of Wildcard. So now we go into round number 11, and the money is not great for Wildcard. They're just going to go for a half buy here and hope that it works out. And to their credit, I mean, 2 of their 4 rounds were won either on force buys, half buys, or ecos. So let's see if this works out for them. Dumao and the rest of the squad here on Legacy, they got the AKs and identical util buy-ups. They're ready to rock.
Just want to confirm what you mentioned about yesterday, by the way. First 2 maps, the first half was 6-6 on both Inferno and Dust2.
Okay, that's what I remembered, so good. My memory's not failing me yet. We go in. Dumao, the tip of the spear. Fuzi with the dualies. Interesting. Usually you only buy those dualies in the pistol round because they're not as effective once the players have body armor, but we'll see if it pans out.
It actually annoys me a little bit. Sure, there's 30 bullets, and if their players are good with spamming the dualies, then I can understand going for it. You might actually see him get 1 kill here, but I would prefer PT50 in a round like this every single day of the week. You might still get a couple, but actually, it's just the one. And if you had that PT50, I reckon it'd be the same result, but the 5-7s off camera on JBA and Sonic, they're both incredibly low, but Sonic's looking for more on the AK, or if he was an instant headshot, then this round would have definitely still been on. It might be, As JBA's found that AK, of course, too.
Ooh, sus.
And Susp is playing around this smoke with the 5-7, but Sadzin and Lato are holding hands right now and being very careful about this for good reason.
Yeah, look, I feel like if Sus came out right there, he might have surprised them because I don't know if they expect the second player to be there. They've still got the 2 AKs picked up in their hands. So, Wildcard definitely not out of this. Lato looking the wrong way for a moment, and he gets caught off. Susp get the headshot, and JBA the same. Wildcard, another eco round victory to give them 5.
Is that 3?
Yes. Oh, I mean, there's 1 force buy and 2 ecos.
Wow. Okay, so they've kind of been saying, I guess that's the one criticism we can have of Wildcard then in this game thus far. They're 1 round behind, which is incredible. I think they'll be absolutely delighted considering how it's gone so far. But the gun rounds have been the issue. So I think they'll be counting the lucky stars that are in the game. They have a chance at a 6-6 half again, like we saw yesterday as well. They have a pretty different path to it from yesterday, but yeah, that is another really important one. Just clean shots hit by Givia, especially that last one. It was on low HP. Could have easily gone down if he missed that instant headshot, and then time is being played by Legacy, and then it gives Sonic no chance, right? So, well played. So good.
Lots of util being dumped by Legacy here towards the A side. Looks like a fake, though, as they are backing off immediately. Deep control from Sus. He'll get overloaded here. No! He gets 2! Maybe the third! There it is! 2 of them through the smoke. Could even get the ace! Oh, no ace. Lato manages to get Sonic and Susp here to make it interesting at the very least, but a 1v3. 3 frags from Susp. And the last one from Fuzi. What a round for Wildcard as we head to the halftime break, all tied up at 6. Alrighty, here we go. Right into the pistol round. Wildcard. We're on the losing end previously of the pistol round, but then won the 4-spy. And I mean, speaking of the 4-spy, eco round victories and 4-spy rounds were the reason why Wildcard is sitting at a tied scoreline right now. Legacy, a couple of missed shots give him a lot of information here. Nakis gets one, but Stan and Sonic delete two more. Lato's still standing and they can't find him. Lato gets two and slips away. Finally, Sonic will finish him off. So a 2v2, bomb will be planted. So there's the bomb plant money, but Wildcard wants more. They want this round victory. Nice little angle from Sonic being held. Can he get the frag? Yes, both of them.
Oh.
Beautiful flick on the second one. And it will be 7-6 for Wildcard.
Sonic with a lovely quad kill back as the co-leader in the server and leader on his team. Sonic has had a bit of a funny career, hasn't he, in general? Of course, he was pretty much retired for a little while, and he came back again, and after all his previous good work in other teams. And now in Wildcard, he's such an integral part of this roster. And very, very solid stuff there. Again, Wildcard will creep back into the lead. Helped by that, of course, pretty mad round by Susp in that final round of the first half. Now, it's Wildcard's turn to have to try and avoid the 5-7s. How are they going to go about that? Because this is, especially on Inferno with those close ranges, if Legacy don't get a single kill from this round, it would be incredibly surprising.
Definitely. Let's not forget, yesterday Legacy only got one round on their CT side, as Wildcard took control once they switched over to the attacking end. See if that holds true again today, or if Legacy can find a little bit more. And, well, Wildcard are walking onto the stack site, as you were alluding to, but I don't know why, but something has tipped them off here. They're saying, oh, whoa, hold on a second, our spidey senses are tingling a little bit, and they've backed off completely. And they're headed more in towards B, where there's only one defender. Could have been the plan all along, because the bomb was still at the bottom of B ramp. Excuse me, T ramp. Stanislav throws that smoke in for sight.
They are still insistent. It feels like I'm going toward A. I mean, they're feeling out top banana because Legacy right now are kind of cycling smokes. They've still got one top banana, and they have actually been forced back toward A. So the pure utility for Legacy has caused the choice from Wildcard, and they're going to need to hit more
15
shots
seconds.
like that. And the clock is really an issue. They're all shooting at each other. They're getting a bit nervy. Sadzin with a 5-7 will get one, but the kills are raining in, and 7-6-5. They're safe. That is actually well figured out from Wildcard, considering Legacy had lured them into their trap.
Oh my goodness, Stan gives me heart attacks sometimes with some of his calls. I'm not gonna lie, like he does that on a regular basis. Like 15 seconds, no problem. I'm cool as a cucumber. We're gonna hit all our shots and get all the information we need to ensure the bomb plant comes through. So I don't know. I don't know how he does it. Honestly, it feels like he's pulling those off more often than he's losing them. So that's good for Wildcard. But man, oh man, it must give his fans a bit of a heart attack. Yumao, last one standing, just going to try and save the 5-7. Wildcard do fend off the 4-spy and get an 8.
Yeah, that was definitely dangerous. As you could see that there was a little bit of nervy moments in that situation as well, where they were kind of flicking at ghosts and their own teammates and stuff like that. It was a bit awkward. Legacy didn't even play that round that badly. It's just in the end, Wildcard sure cut it close by 2 or 3 seconds, but get the job done. It means that this one is a lot more acceptable. And it should be a lot easier for them. 9-6 is hopefully in their eyes, but a minute or so away.
And stand a chance to farm a little bit of money here with the MAC-10. There's the smoke thrown for Arch side. And Sonic and JB are already making their way through the apartments with the bomb on Fuzi's back. JBA, all top turn for Pit. That will force a player out. Should be an easy clean, but oh, JBA looks away for a moment, and Barton takes that opportunity to dome him with the USP. The rest of Legacy are just hightailing it out of here. I think Stan is like, okay, who's going over here? What are you doing? And he bites. He goes in and gets taken down by Dumao. That is an upgrade available for Legacy if they choose to push forward, but they are very wary, and maybe they just don't care about the MAC-10.
Yeah, I get the impression they don't because they're buying next round anyway. There is definitely a conversation to be had, and I actually have seen it from a few teams lately. Like they will actually try and use that recovered MAC-10 on a CT gun round, just with how precious CT economy is. Especially on a map like Inferno, get full util and rush the MAC-10 down banana and make a set play happen with it. So it's very viable, but yeah, they will steer clear of it. They'll keep their smoke and 2 flashes too, which will help a little bit in this upcoming gun round. Yeah, Standard absolutely get baited in there. It's, I don't blame him. He had the MAC-10 he knew was somewhat expendable, and he wanted some spare money. But it's all good.
Yeah, it's all fine for sure. I am of the camp that thinks that saving that MAC-10 is worthwhile on your CT side. I think, as you mentioned, the economy is just so valuable on that CT side that anything you can go and utilize and bring forward to the next round is worth it. And you'll adjust your strategy, like you said, put a player rushing down banana, rushing down mid, off of some util with the MAC-10, maybe finding something. I think 1 frag in that situation would be sufficient, along with getting information as to where the T's are. So anyway, look, it could work out for Legacy anyway. We'll see. Great flashbang thrown there. A couple of them coming through from Legacy, but Stan's not having any of it, and I think Wildcard are trying to pick up the pace the same way Legacy did. This time, though, it's going to be a pincer attack towards the B site through CT, which Legacy did not employ once on their T side. Dumao, done. Lato does manage to defend here on B to get 1, but he's going to get overloaded so quickly. There are players coming at him from every single direction. He's trying to tuck himself in, but they're not going to let him get comfortable at all. Util and everything and bullets flying his way. He finally gets dropped. Legacy have 3 players bottom banana. This is not, oh my goodness, I was going to say not a nice prospect for them to try and retake the site. Stan again, one of the players chasing, trying to find something, but he will not, and Legacy are going to go for the eco.
Yeah, to be fair, he was, flashed in, and they gave it one more go to try and get himself a 3rd kill to remove an extra weapon from the round. Yeah. And I don't think Wildcard will, because I think 3 is what they want, but it would be worth maybe putting in Susp to look for one more player, because there's a big difference between 3-player saving and 2-player saving, when of course the CT money is totally broken, but they're so far away, it's totally fine to keep 3 alive on both teams in the end, is how it turns out. Wildcard will hit double digits first, and it's funny, isn't it? We've kind of a different path to get here, but it is a pretty similar story to yesterday. Their T side is just so solid and well thought out on Inferno, and it's shown in not just this qualifier but in other events too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think not just on Inferno. I'm not sure if you said on all maps, but it is on all maps. It's across the board that Stan has impressed with his calling and the rest of his team executing. Nate's going to sail through. Damage done to Dumao. And I mean, look at these incendiaries and flashes that are coming in. Legacy are bold to hold this. They got 3 players waiting. Dumao pushes up all the way to half wall. Probably not expected. Flashed out here, but the smoke doesn't really afford him much visibility on the players here, and eventually just fires off a couple of shots, maybe in frustration, and fades off towards B. Stan and Sus will take the space that he's given up. And Wildcard once more playing very well on their T side rounds.
Looks like we've just paused the server briefly there.
Yeah.
They're all set up. JBA is just waiting for all the calls to come through, and it looks like they're trying to get, exactly what I thought, get Susp off the half wall silently, so he doesn't drop down and make a sound cue for Legacy 2 here.
Such a little detail.
It is a very little detail, and
I love it.
And you could see they were kind of talking about it while that was going on, right? Because they'd all frozen kind of in banana, having a chat about what they want to do in this round. And the utility they've got left, it's kind of curious they've used a last smoke, but I think that kind of gives you the inkling that they're going to go off this one and make the decision. Stan did kind of see Lato there, but he doesn't take advantage of it, and Lato does well to find two. Demao still here. Does he play time or go for one more kill? He's going to play time. 8 seconds for the plant. It will come through. And Legacy need this retake. 2 kits available. It's very doable, but Fuzi has already found one.
I'm surprised Nikis goes in like that without really anyone there to ensure a trade or more aggression could come through. And there's still 2 players stuck at CT. And you see Sadzin trying to go out there with the AWP, but he's sprayed down to 13. Now Dumao's peeking around, but Wildcard, the positions they're holding are not exposed from Coffin at all. And they continue to burn time off the clock here. Finally, Dumao comes around, gets one traded out immediately, and no response at all from Legacy afterwards. JBA a 3K. Fuzi with 2, and they are the dynamic duo that gives Wildcard an 11th round. They've still shut Legacy down here in this second half, haven't given them a single round.
It's funny, right? I mean, you could... The position that Dumao was in there, in that 4 versus 3, you could absolutely say, listen, okay, he's fallen back, he's retained the man advantage, that's exactly the right thing to do while you wait for your teammates to rotate. There's also a conversation as if to say, well, it's, you know, it's so hard to retake. I'll just get back to that point later, I think, because we've got a bit of a fight in second mid here. Nikis and Dumao have managed to get one apiece, and Lato does really well to find one, and with 1 minute 37 seconds in the round, it's already a 2v2. Yeah, I'll try and remember my point, because it's quite an interesting point, at least I think, anyway. Although I say so myself. But, yeah, the bomb's going to be picked up now, and it's a 2 versus 2 for Susp and Sonic to relax into with plenty of time to figure things out.
Well, Sadzin in a pretty tough spot here. He's got the op, usually a one and done when you're going in a 2v1 situation like this. It might not even be the one. Great flashbang thrown. Susp knows exactly where to look. He saw him go behind U-Box, and it's Sonic, in fact, to get that headshot. Bomb will be planted, smoke thrown out. They still have a smoke left and a nade as well. And Lato's down to 19 HP, of course. So, oh my goodness, that nade almost drops him to dirt. But he will survive for now. I think, given the money situation, yeah, that's the right decision. Yeah. He's going to fall back. Wildcard, 6 in a row here on the T side. Not giving up a single round to Legacy. They're trying to be perfect on their T side today.
That's super impressive. Yeah, the point about Dumao was purely, like, we know how difficult it is to retake on Inferno. I'm sure, like, if he peaked and died and gave up the 4v3 and lost it to a 3v3 straight away, like, his coach or other members of the organization / team would say, bro, why have you done that? But the argument really is, I reckon if he swings for one more and gets one more, a 3v2 is a lot easier than a 3v3, I think. And he could just, he kind of just goes down straight away when they go for the retake in the end. And it's like, I would totally understand in that scenario if he actually tried to play for another kill.
I think you're right. Like, it's oftentimes you'll see coaches and players say, look, we got to fall back. We got to play more passively, wait for the reinforcements to come in. But in certain bomb sites, like bomb site B, I agree with you. You know, it's sometimes better to go for that repeat and try to get another frag rather than going back for cover. And yeah. Lato want to get the headshot on Stanislav, and it didn't work out for them at all. Like, Nikis tried to swing out wildly, but afterwards was shut down. And again, Nikis is the first casualty in the round for Legacy. Lots of space gained into CT. Dumao, I don't know if he knows how close they are, but Fuzi's right around the corner. He's kind of clearing it, but yeah, he wasn't fully committed to that angle. And Fuzi punishes him as soon as he shows face. You see Sonic could get another one here. Lato down to 47. There comes the nade. And, well, Sadzin on the other side is gone. And the rest of the players are too. That's it. Wildcard, flawless on their T side. And they win it 13-6.
Another really impressive display of what Wildcard are about on their T sides, right? I mean, you know, Legacy, don't get me wrong, they're not pushovers. Like, that's just impressive from Wildcard. And even in that final round, it takes to actually get one over Wildcard, because it's kind of weird how this qualifier's gone. You've got a matchup between Legacy and Nouns that has been very, very one-sided, extremely. And you've got this one, which hasn't been played as much, but is also one-sided in terms of Wildcard, right? It only took that massive fall off that we saw yesterday for it to really change that. So we're going to go into Dust 2 now. Wildcard, of course, will continue on that T side as this is their pick. Let's see if they can get that qualification to Katowice.
We're going to start out with a bit of a pause. Everything is getting sorted out here. Had a couple at the beginning of map number 1. Didn't last too long. Mostly, like, I would say a minute maximum, and then everything was sorted out. I imagine this will be more of the same. Maybe a player just not back to their PC yet after that brief break between map 1 and 2. But yeah, I mean, yesterday, I have to say that Legacy proved themselves not once, but twice on Dust2. The first one on against Nouns, like Nouns picked into it and they looked incredible. Legacy did. And then Wildcard, same thing. They looked a lot stronger than Nouns at the beginning of the game, but Legacy ended up closing the scoreline at the exact same point at 13-6. Looks like the timeout is now over and expired, and we go into it. Map number 2, round number 1, between Wildcard and Legacy.
Fuzi has the flashes, smoke available as well. San on the smoke and molly. And this does kind of indicate a bit of a play mid to B, perhaps. They do have the smoke available. Actually, going to use it on mid doors. I think maybe they could get their way through B tunnels into lower safely, then go for a split maybe.
Barton.
But Barton is already up with the dualies. Are they going to be expecting him up so close? Now have to react quickly though, and they're going to wide swing the angle. Nekis is on an angle that is not favourable really for him at all, and Sonic will find him too. Now smokes are up, they've got that spare utility available, and Legacy are a long damn way away.
Yeah, it might be even worthwhile just to save the armor if you're Legacy. We saw it yesterday, and they might do it again. Looking around, seeing if anyone from Wildcard is towards mid. No one is, of course. They're all on the site proper. And yeah, Legacy not going to challenge much. I mean, without a kit also, and that B site being so difficult to take back, they decide to try and retreat. But Wildcard is saying, oh, okay, hold on a second. We're not going to let you guys save the armor this time. They're charging on forward. Stanislav spotted Sadzine. Should be able to finish him off. And then, is that a burst fire? He got the burst fire headshot onto Dumao. Sonic finds the follow-up too. Lato the last one standing, and this time Legacy aren't going to save any armor at all as Lato gets one parting gift, and then the immediate trade comes through.
That's pretty crazy. So obviously he was focused on the Xbox player. The Caesar's a short player above him, just flicks up and burst blocks him. Called him out. Destroyed. Stan is he's still got that in his locker every now and then, bless him. Not just the brains, but the aim as well. And Legacy choosing a different option. Obviously, Inferno kind of lends itself to a force buy with those close range angles on the 5.7s. But full eco on Dust2 to get the M4s ASAP. This is going to be a decent nade. There it is. Gunk on Sadzine.
Wow.
And Fuzi, actually, in the end, it gets 3 in the round. As a scout, of course, against unarmored opponents, is an insta-kill.
But like Legacy just wanted to get that one over with. Just charging out to mid. All right, let's fight. And Wildcard were waiting right there to receive them. Easy round. Bonus comes through, and I'm hesitant to even call it that because you've got 2 AKs, a Galil, the MAC-10, very serviceable when you're trying to go for some quick hits, which I'm assuming JBA is going to try and do that towards the B site. And Uzi with the Scout is just as lethal, I would say, as he is with the Op. So we'll see how that works out. Oh, nice nades go through. Barton, not too bad in terms of his health, considering the circumstances. But on the other side, Wildcard are trying to sell that it's going to be a quick B hit, and then suddenly it doesn't happen, but Legacy have shifted 3 players over in that direction. Wildcard, I'd be surprised if they go fast here. They're typically a team that likes to take their time and burn off the clock. But
yeah,
I don't know.
They are very focused on toward B right now. Stan actually has only put 1 flashover shot as a fake, and everything else is going to be focused on this B play. But Legacy are very, very ready, and Barton does well to do damage, but Fuzi still finds another. And Stan was just about, I was going to say, making it through window. Fuzi is going to say, oh my goodness, he just charged straight through the door smoke. That's crazy. He hits 1 more shot. Thankfully, Lato was there for the insurance policy, but That's a bit of a pacey one from Wildcard, and they'll know that Legacy won that with just one player alive, so the T-side is still pretty well set up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to go for the 4 AKs. Sus could have gone for a Galil to get more util, but he says, nope, I want that firepower. That was bold, honestly. It defied expectations, charging through that smoke instead of going to plant the bomb. And that was what he was going for as he gets the first. And I think maybe, I guess once you're already committed to that point, you kind of have to keep fighting. I was going to say it might have been better just to fall back and then plant the bomb in the 1v1, but maybe he would have died anyway if he tried to do that. Nikis gets the opener onto Susp. Stanislaw right there trying to see where Nikis is, and in fact, that smoke not deep enough to allow for Wildcard to get visibility if a player sneaks into lower. Might have been thrown by Legacy, in fact. Either way, Boozy staring down towards those mid doors with the AWP, hoping to find a trade. He's on the angle, but Boozy decides to give it up, and they are going to rotate in towards A. They've already got 2 players to deal with, though. One up close, that's Lato, in a bit of an off angle.
And it works. Might even work out for more as well. Lato does really well. He finds a second. And this round is pretty much set and done, I would say. Sam making his way through short. It's a scout from Sands and a headshot to boot. And now they know where Fuzi is. And with 42 seconds, Fuzi's going to have to do a pretty good job of saving this. Look at how they're converging on the minimap right now. Up short, up mid, in through tunnels, and close long. There isn't necessarily... Well, there are safe spots for Fuzi to save. It depends how far Legacy push. And actually, he's going to make the decision, knowing actually that it's knowing actually that it was Sadzin with the scout that got the kill and not the AWP. He's willing to give up the AK. So they will get 3 AKs from that. Finally managed to nab the AK. The E button being, as usual, a little bit cruel. But he'll take his own pain and not save the AWP to prevent Legacy from taking it off of him. Unfortunately, Wildcard on an eco anyway. Maybe they were thinking, listen, if I save the AWP, there's going to be nothing around it. And saving it twice in a row isn't necessarily very easy or something you want to do if he wants to get utility. That is ridiculous, by the way. That's a pure...
Is that one nade?
Yeah. It smacked Finzi in the chest, I'm afraid.
Rough. I mean, truly. All right, well, 3-2 in favor of Legacy here, so they're getting rolling a lot sooner than they did yesterday. Was that?
Quick rebuttal.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
JBA pretty silent on this map. He was a lot more active on Inferno, I think, today than he was yesterday. I want to check that now because I remember yesterday JBA was actually struggling quite mightily. And let's see here if I'm checking. Oh my goodness, I think I'm checking today. No, I'm not checking today. It's okay. Yeah, JBA was 12-7. So yesterday on Inferno, I think today he had way better numbers than that. Either way. Here, they'll need him for sure on Dust2. Nikis waiting in CT.
Ooh.
It is the AKs up again here for both sides.
I was going to say, when are they going to use that mid to B smoke? They're finally going to put it down and block Nikis off, but Sadson has found JBA again, and of course, that gives us the ability to jump over those smokes and see if they're actually making their way up, and you'll see that they're not. So, that's a lot of information. Wildcard choosing the A side of the map instead. Dumal, he gets 1 and survives. That should be enough. He does exactly that. Fuzi may have found Nekis as well in the end. Oh, the flash assist.
What?
One MVP flash assist from Lato there. Might even get one more as well, Dumal. He's doing a sterling job on toward that ramp position. And Stan is stuck on long, charging his way up. There are 2 players holding the angle, and Saladin takes him with the AWP. This is looking good from Legacy.
I have to say, a little bit troubling for Wildcard, the way this is treading. Sadzine celebrating a little bit, nodding him down, saying, yeah, we got it rolling a lot sooner today. This could even be a more one-sided scoreline than it was yesterday. Wildcard stumbling. Make that 3 deagles, a P250, and a Glock. 3 players with body armor. Not an impossible round for Wildcard, who have gotten quite a few ecos up against Legacy, especially in that first half of Inferno today. Incendiary gets tossed. One of the few spots where the Incendiary can actually take up the full space.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Uzi, along with Stan. Slowly but surely making their way to the site. There's a possibility, I think, if the smokes and flashes are used effectively, I should say smoke and flashes are used well, that they can get the bomb plant here. There's this flash, and I think the smoke was thrown. I don't know where it was thrown, in fact, but Nikiza is going to get a frag, and it does yield the plant. Oh, nice shot from JBA as well for his first frag on the map, and there's the bomb plant. There's a gun available as well that Fuzi's going to jump down and grab immediately. And I would say he needs to toss this over to an armored player, but he just doesn't have the time. Dumao sprays him down.
Yeah, the nade into the smoke that actually almost cost Dumao his life, but M4, of course, no armor. Very difficult to hit it with no Kevlar. Aim punch is so tough to recover. They're sort of taking a lot of time off the clock here, though. Sazin will eventually find them, though, and I think they're all going to be good. Yes, they are. There are kits available on all 4 of the remaining players, so there was no panic and no rush. Lato finds that defuse. 1 kill each in the end, actually. That's a team ace from Legacy.
Alrighty. Legacy.
Sharing the ecos. How very kind of them.
Yeah. Nice bomb plant for Wildcard, though. They get the $600 bonus to their bank accounts, which means a much better buy-up in terms of util, which they might have had anyway, but it leaves a little bit extra in their bank accounts for the follow-up round should they need it. Fuzi. Gonna miss a shot there towards mid with the AWP. Wildcard. Usually more disciplined on their T side and a lot slower in their play. I've had a more fast-paced style here on Dust2, at least on the gun rounds. Now they're slowing up a little bit, but no, as I say that, you know, look, JBA's in the smoke, and that's going to get blown every day of the week, and Barton takes advantage of completely blindsided JBA to find the frag. Stanislav's down to 7 as well, and that B site is just off limits right now.
Wildcard's round streak, going from the previous map to this one, ended at 11. Now Legacy are up to 5. Not as bad as yesterday yet, but it's been, again, a very streaky game. Now contact B for Wildcard, and you would think maybe this won't work out. They all might have to do the business. Bruzy's been spotted out, he's been jiggle peeked out, but honestly, it's really well held by Fuzi toward Barton's angle, and Sus will find Neckers as well. They've broken open B straight away. And I said it looked pretty unlikely. I think we know what the answer is here for Legacy. They'd focus 3 players over toward the A side of the map with a close long player and the others holding the short push. And that means that they're a very long way away from B, and obviously the save will come through. That was nice from Wildcard. It was simple, but it may have relied on the Fuzi entry, to be fair, but as soon as he hit it, they swarmed.
I think one key point is that Wildcard, even though they lost that first player, right, going for the B entry, decided to fall back, reset themselves, you know, something that's worked so well for them on their T side on other maps, and even Dust2 at times, and then they go back to where they started, and Legacy's just not ready for it. Of course, it takes a very strong entry, like you mentioned, to get to that point, but still, I mean, it felt like there was danger tape put up towards B, and no Wildcard allowed written on it. And then eventually just tear that down, rip it right off the walls and say, no, we're getting right on into this site. We will be taking it and getting our 3rd round on the board. So Wildcard, facing a lot of adversity here early on, which is the opposite to yesterday, are managing to respond. They get that round, still a ton of money available for Legacy. They even have a buy-up in the bank still should they lose this round. So not the easiest of tasks for Wildcard. Fuzi fires off a shot after he's blinded. No one's there to receive it, and Wildcard going to regroup towards mid. This is actually kind of dangerous for Legacy, but McKees gets the first and actually fades into the smoke.
Oh, what a shot. Sus will delete Dumao. It recovers it back into a 4 versus 4. Neck is, of course, low HP on the AWP now. Make it a bit easier for him. JBA's been a bit silent. Other than that 1-1D got an eco round, they are probably never going to win. hopefully he can build into this map. This Wildcard will need him. Unfortunately, he's going to be naded though. Down to 41, eats that one. 2 smokes, of course, available. The deep CT one and the one to aid across from the possibility of a long player. The Legacy side have split it 2-2 right now. Maybe that's not enough. Sadzin somehow gets away from JBA though. That's annoying for him, and the Goose player might still do more. Sonic, though, great second.
Wow.
It allows them to get their bomb plant in time, and now it's actually a very even round with both AWPers walking wounded.
Yeah, I think JBA thought he had the frag. He turned away like, oh, I got it, but it just didn't come through. So that happens sometimes. He's holding this angle. Uh-oh, Foozy. Yeah, Foozy's dead. 2v1 leaves Sonic in a pretty tight spot. Sonic gets the insta-headshot on Barton that lets him settle in on the site. He knows that he's up against the Opper, but also the possibility of an AK being picked up is there, and it is, but it won't matter. Sonic clutches it out of 4K in the round, the MVP of this round, without any question in our minds, as Wildcard get 2 in a row.
Brilliant from Sonic. As soon as he isolates the player coming in toward long, gets that kill straight up. He checks it perfectly. It's a lovely long-range burst. There was no risk, I feel like, of him losing that 1v1 against the low HP. Comfortable and clean. And they're 1 round away from breaking that Legacy economy. If they do, they could be in for a good half. Of course, as we kind of mentioned yesterday, in the exact same veto, both maps were both 6-6 at half, and it's the same story today in map 1. Let's see if it's going to be the same in map 2 again. Dumao does well to deal with Foozy, but of course they're very aware that he's stuck on the corner, and in the end, Sus does complete the kill, even while Dumao was using all that utility and very blind. Nick is, though, he was about to get caught, I felt like, and he realised it, thankfully, but realised it very quickly, and keeps himself up toward the B site, but Sus catches another one in a similar position. Smoke was blown open, Sadzin gets caught, 4v3.
I love this mid-rounding from Wildcard, right? They're selling it so well. They're like, okay, we're going to go to the B site. Legacy are battening down the hatches, expecting the hit to come through. All the smokes are there, and they say, well, hold on a second. We still have that smoke up CT. Let's fall back a little bit. They break the CT smoke, find the frag, and then go back to A where there's only one player who's already dead after being traded out. Brilliant stuff from Wildcard. It's not over yet because Nikiz and Barton are still standing, and it's very much a winnable retake situation. The problem for them is only one piece of util, that flashbang for Barton, and that might be a reason why they decide to pull back and not go for this one. Oh, I just love it. But they are going to go in, it seems. Stanislaw and JBA? No, they were hoping to find one quickly, I guess, and they didn't see it, so they say, okay, that's it. Yeah, I mean, what can you not like about that execute from Wildcard?
Obviously, you know, we speak about it a lot in these casts, right? About how Dust2, especially in CSGO, I mean, in CS2, it's been a lot more fun with the nose break being able to break up the smokes and stuff like that. But Dust2's not really that fun a map. And obviously, tactical depth is one of the reasons with, you know, kind of why people are not enjoying it that much. But there are many things you can do and many ruses you can put forth. And obviously, as soon as Wildcard realised that Nekiz had seen 3 players from his little window peek, they thought, okay, let's go straight back, let's manoeuvre, group up somewhere else, and all those plans that were put forth change on the fly. And in the end, worked out really, really well. Sus was on the angle. Ooh. He's going to be forced into the open, though. That's a bit more awkward. And Dumao does well to find the opening with 3 players really fighting for long early. And with that new box, of course, going to be straight up toward Cat to aggress elsewhere.
This is what Wildcard were doing yesterday on their CT side. And I'm not sure I'm a fan because you leave long completely exposed. And you're going to see Sadzin come back around here. But if Wildcard go fast in this situation, then they're already on A. And Legacy are in trouble. But this time it doesn't really happen. So, Legacy will get back to A and be very comfortable. In fact, they're sending everyone here with the way Wildcard plays. This is a bold call from Legacy. I guess they're assuming because no one can really be spotted out here that they're safe to go for this full-on stack. But even Barton's like, okay, maybe we were a little too bold here. I'm going to fall back and see what's happening towards the B site and mid. And this is exactly what Wildcard wants, right? They want to sow that seed of doubt in Legacy's minds. Dumao jumping up, very exposed on the top of the box, but it gives him a pretty good angle. Smoke tossed forward, Molotov in on the site, Sonic slipping on through, but I think Dumao is a superior angle in this situation. JBA managed to take out Sadzine. Oh, did Sonic spot him? Did he see him? No, but it doesn't matter. Now he does. Gets that frag. Lato trades him out, but Stanislaw is waiting around that corner to deal another blow. The frags are going back and forth, though, and Nikis hits Stanislaw through the box as he's trying to plant.
Wow.
That could be the key to victory in this round for Legacy, but Fuzi still manages to cross over. He grabs the bomb. He tries to take it down. 5 seconds left. Nikis jumping up with the pistol. Doesn't hit the shots, and now Fuzi's turning everywhere, seeing ghosts, trying to find those last two. Smoke tossed. Fuzi sees one. Nice headshot. Has a chance for the follow-up as well. Will Fuzi clutch out the 1v2? No! Just barely falls short. Barton with 13 HP wins it and will eventually find the kit and the defusal. 6-5 for Legacy.
Oh my goodness. So many layers in that round for Wildcard. The fact that Stan just sits in the smoke on site, plays so patient to finally get that kill in the end. But it's just a second too late to save his teammates, so they're down a man when they try and retake. The fact that he gets wallbanged straight through the box while trying to plant, it leaves Fuzi with, I think it was 8 seconds to jump onto the site and plant. And while he does that, in those 8 seconds, he switches to the AK in the midst of having the bomb out. And, you know, that's actually the perfect call for me. To be more maneuverable behind the box. He knew he was going to get run down, and once you know, Legacy realized that, they played it a lot more carefully and almost didn't get it done. Fuzi did everything he possibly could there, and honestly I felt like, considering the damage he did and after how clean the first kill was, I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't get that second kill to complete the clutch. But as it is, next round is underway and he will make up for that mistake straight away, taking a pick on mid. However, you've lost Susp, and Stanislaw is now 8 HP. So there's a chance for Legacy to edge this half, and they might just do that. 7-5 is in front of them, but it's another great shot.
Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Oh, Dumao. Dumao, the timing. There it is. Okay, Stan dead. The other two players have managed to get towards the B site, and you have Barton waiting here at car. Will he be overlooked? Kind of, yes. Yeah, he gets one, and Dumao gets the last. It will be Legacy with a slim lead heading into the second half. All right, here we go again. A very close first half. Not the 6-6 we saw yesterday, with Legacy getting one more round than Wildcard. But honestly, it was a very different path compared to yesterday's 6-6. Because Wildcard had that crazy lead, and then Legacy just stormed out. This time it was way more back and forth, and a lot more entertaining Counter-Strike, I would say. Niki's going to get one set, Zine another. The trade does come through for one frag on Wildcard, but it is a 4v3 advantage for Legacy, Trav.
Oh my goodness, the incendiaries are so useless, dude. He even threw that early. Like, he gave that plenty of time to do more damage. And what damage has it done? It's got them 1 kill and a sliver on Barden. Like, that's just so frustrating. Stan does have that defuse kit, and they're going to launch their way back in. And Fuzi, he's found both. Okay, the retake flash might have saved this round. Don't ask me how he's managed to get that extra kill. It's now Dumao in this clutch. Stan, we're looking to hold it, and Fuzi will look to hold the line on that low HP. And he's not biting. It's going to be very difficult to win it from there. And one bullet is hit, but it doesn't complete the kill. And he wouldn't have been able to get towards Stan anyway. What a pistol to win, considering the situation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just a beautiful flashbang utilized there, and Fuzi capitalizing on every opportunity. Even gets the last, and Wildcard up to 6. I mean, yeah, talking about that incendiary being purchased in round number 1. Honestly, I feel like a better option is just to get a flash of smoke and then and then a nade, and just smoke tunnels. And if you hear the footsteps, throw the nade. You're gonna do way more damage, and it's gonna be way more effective than what the incendiary does, which is virtually nothing. Fuzi is gonna get 1, but Sadzine and actually just Sadzine gonna strike back for 2. It is even numbers only momentarily, as Wildcard seemingly have an inferior buy, despite the fact they won that previous round. So, I don't know, it's starting to happen again, even though it felt like that nerf for the bomb plant bonus was effective, but it's only JBA left now with an A1S. Wow.
Great shot from Lato as well. It was unfortunate for Suspi. He was stuck in CT, and all the nades were coming his way. He was so blinded in the corner. He takes 1 tag of damage to the molly, and it just alerts everyone on Legacy of his position. Well, that of course are kind of forced to force. Stan will at least keep a little bit of extra dollary dues, because he wants to be able to maybe drop that off to Fuzi in the future. This round could still come through, you never know. Unfortunately, it's a bit more of a considerable disadvantage than it would be the other way around. I feel like on the T side you could maybe get a few Galils and some Tech 9s to use with some speed. In this round it's a P250, 2 deals, a 5.7 and a scout. It's not much against the rifles that Legacy have. But Fuzi on the scout has been kind of banging the last few days, I will say.
I was just going to say exactly that. Don't underestimate Fuzi with that scout. You never know. Especially if Legacy go long, which they were absolutely loving to do yesterday. And this is what I wanted to keep an eye on. If Wildcard is going to make that adjustment to watch out for this long push. And it looks like, at least on this round, they absolutely are. There's 1 tag. There's the frag from Fuzi. Could get another tag here. And he does. And there's another frag that comes through. And Sus actually with the 5.7 gets both Sadzine and Barton 3v2. Guns are down, but not within reach. But the bomb is on the floor, and it needs to be recovered. Dumao's been spotted here, and Lato helps him out by taking down JBA, but Dumao's going to be the biggest problem here. Maybe
nice.
Not. Lato gets all 3, settles things down. It looks scary, very scary for Legacy, but they do manage to convert.
They, in the end, Legacy do well of realizing that there's so much manpower toward long there with the scout and the 5.7 toward cars that Dumao could just run up short. And sure, you know, at the end it's Lato that kind of saves it by taking down the 2 long players. But then once Dumao gets the job done in his position, Lato, of course, knows that the last 2 players are pretty much in front of him, and he can just prepare himself knowing there could be a trade to come through pretty soon. They play it well. Lato's looking for more kills coming through here as well. There's 4. Go on, hit a deagle shot. Okay, he gets a bit panicky. He wanted that ace, didn't he, badly. But it's only 4. Only, I say. Does really well to get 4 against the rushing USPs. And now Legacy are very much up and running. 10-6 the lead. Wildcard, unfortunately for them, have to make a comeback happen. But now their full buy is in play.
Yeah, this is where things are going to get interesting for sure. I mean, I feel like this one's far from over. Obviously, Wildcard CT side left a lot to be desired yesterday. And this is where we need to see those adjustments. Stop Legacy's quick plays and easy control, I would say, of Long that was being given up yesterday. You see that Legacy are going to throw that flashbang for mid. They've got that deep smoke on lock here for mid double doors, which, as I mentioned before, when you throw it right, there's no way a CT can sneak into lower versus the Xbox smoke where they absolutely can. Molotov going to get tossed in there by Legacy towards B, and then a smoke is maybe baited out there in this situation by Legacy as they're dumping a little bit of util on B, trying to sell the hit there, but Wildcard aren't really budging from the A hold, and they did indeed make an adjustment to their defensive side. They're leaving a player long, Boozy here with the AWP watching those doors. And then one in Goose as well. A more typical setup coming through on the defensive side of A for Wildcard this time.
Lurk smoke will come through to block the cross. Now Sanson is ready to flash his way through. Sanson actually quite a good position, making his way in that smoke, but Demal might be looking to drop right past him. It'll be heard, of course, and Stan now has the opportunity to maybe make a move, because they won't expect there to be a CT player on short. He's going to have to be a bit quick about it. Sonic does really well to find two, considering he's under so much pressure on the site, but now Stan's in the action. He's done so much damage to Sadzin. Flash over the top to try and get across to plant the bomb. And Stan knows he can't just charge in, because Barton's on that OP angle in car. 3 versus 2. They're lacking a kit, but they have the manpower, and they're looking to try and go for it. But Sadzin's got that AWP, and Barton just ducks up and down. It's so easy from that position. And even with that manpower, Wildcard get deleted.
Unreal. Yeah, that car position is so powerful. You need a Molotov or even an incendiary can take care of that one. They didn't have anything. So great flashbang thrown, by the way, by Legacy to get that player to cross back over to the site, because very low HP, had the bomb on his back, could have passed it over to his teammate to potentially have a better chance of making it through. But because the flashbang is thrown, Stan has to look away for a moment, and that's exactly when he jumps across. Like, you have timed that perfectly. So full credit to Legacy for pulling that one off, despite having the numbers disadvantage and HP disadvantage by a significant margin. All right, well, Wildcard, call a timeout, talk things over. They are going to go for a force buy here. You can't really blame them. I don't think they want to go down 12-6. They want to give this the best try they possibly can. 3 MP9s, an A1S, a Scout, and a good amount of utility available to them, even though Sonic doesn't have anything. But you have to have someone on the M4 here. Let's see how they deploy the troops. 2 players potentially pushing up mid with these MP9s. Yep, there they go. All the way to top mid, getting aggressive here. It's being watched by Sadzin with the AWP. And in fact, it's Sonic with the M4 charge. Good flashbang. It forces Sadzin off the angle, and Lato's actually the first victim. The Keys catches Stan and lower. Now, that makes it a 4v4, but there's a lot of control, and the bomb is still stuck in T-spawn. Wildcard don't know it yet, but they will soon. Sadzin, watching, waiting, doesn't hit the shot, and there's the bomb spotted by Sonic. He's going to call the players over more than likely, or maybe they played passively, because Legacy are immediately rotating back into T-spawn. JBA is watching mid. Now he looks towards T-spawn, hits the shot on the Keys. Knows more players are coming, and does get traded out, but still, there's plenty of time on the clock here. Did Wildcard not see the bomb?
I don't know.
Because I feel like if they saw it, they would have played that a little more aggressively towards top mid.
There are arguments to say that they made the call to give it up and say let's play the advantage.
For sure.
Because there are weird angles to hold in that sort of position. It's quite difficult to get a good crossfire into position around this top mid area on this map. And it's not necessarily something you would maybe get a chance to do in practice at any point, right? So you have kind of no protocol for that position and for that time. But, as you say, this round is now very interesting. 20 seconds. Barton and Dumal are going to make their way up short. I think Susper's not entirely sure what's going on. He's missed. Oh, he's seen an arm.
Saw a shadow.
He saw an arm, and now Sonic, he just needs one, but the quick flank. This flank should get one. It should relax things. Take it very calmly until the last second. Oh, he goes for the planter. I feel like that's a cardinal sin. It's not the player with their gun drawn. I know he wanted to deny the plant and perhaps win the round solely off of that. I get it. But now Fuzi has got a 1v2 with a scout. Two big errors. Sonic whiffing on car. Sus whiffing on shore. It's pure aim that's lost him this round. Fuzi's parred this one incredibly well, but he's got a USP to try and make it happen. It's a good run down on the first. It actually hits the dink on Barton. Wow. It's so close considering the situation. But Legacy, what a streak on T side. Up to 12-6 and third map points.
Only one round for Wildcard, and it was the pistol. Outside of that, nada here in this second half. 5 rounds in a row for Legacy. And it just feels like this defensive side for Wildcard, at least against Legacy, is just completely lacking. And yeah, this could already be over and headed to map 3 again of Ancient. Zadzine gets the opener. Okay, hold on. There's Sonic and JBA getting the response here. A big one. 2 frags coming through. They stack up towards long A. Now they're rotating quickly into mid. The Keys lining up the flashbang. There's the mid to be smoked. There's the flash to try and send them out. Fuzi's completely blinded. Sonic, though, is able to support from CT, and he can't get a second one, but does so much damage to Barton, so he's 1 shot away from death. Fuzi, oh, the util out at the wrong time, but it does land at the feet of Nikis to do damage, and he hits a shot on him as well. So both Barton and Nikis down to only 38 HP combined. Good opportunity for Stan and JBA to come on through. There is the smoke as well for Stan to try and deploy here. Throws it for tons. Perfect toss because it isolates both players. JBA spots Barton slipping on through in towards those boxes as the bomb is ticking away. Barton gets the frag, but JBA knows he's there. It doesn't matter. Legacy still get it, and they get a 13th. It's over. I can't believe it's happened again, but Legacy, unbelievable on their T side.
Oh my goodness, it's kind of funny, isn't it? It's polar opposites in both maps.
Yes.
T sides are so good for both sides in different scenarios. Kind of crazy, and Wildcard will be kicking themselves. Will there be any repeat of yesterday, where how they struggled? I mean, obviously after they got over the line, you know, Sonic popped up in chat after the game and wrote easy. Obviously that's the way you go about things, isn't it? When it's that kind of struggle. I'm really looking forward to actually seeing how this goes, because I couldn't predict it after what we saw yesterday.
No, honestly, I felt like Wildcard were very effective on the map once things got going for them and once they started to recover after that really tough start. But, you know, their CT side still wasn't great. I mean, going to that second half, it was Legacy pretty much all the way. So we'll see if they have some answers here. This looks really good for Legacy. I mean, they're going towards the B side, which doesn't have many players on it. I like that Wildcard fade off here to go for a retake setup, but they don't have to kit for it. And look at Legacy chasing here. Barton, Lato looks at the ground as he's jumping around there for the movement peak, and it works out for him. Wildcard have no answer to that advance.
Sonic, Stan, and JBA. There was a little bit of utility available, and that's all they had. And they're just going to walk straight into the mixer. I do wonder whether that situation actually, I hate to suggest it because I hate saving, but I think that probably would have been the better choice to keep those Kevlars into the next round. But doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. They're going to full eco here probably and go for the buy in the third. Yeah,
it's definitely a full eco. I would imagine they think about a nade. Maybe? No. I mean, they're all at 2050, not a single frag to speak of, so I guess they can't justify using that util. Where are they going to push down? It looks like it'll be B. Probably all the way down in towards that B ramp. Looks like one player heading into Jaguar, and in fact, they're just going to stack the site, not going for that aggression. Hoping they can catch Legacy off, and it looks like Legacy want to go B. I don't know if it'll make much of a difference if they go B or A with so little available to Wildcard, and yeah, it doesn't really. Fuzi gets one, but that's it. The round is over. Easy for Legacy.
That's in with 3. Of course, every kill that he gets over the course of those sort of eco rounds will add a little bit of extra money to the bank for the future AWP. It's not the easiest map in the world to get a T-side AWP in play, but we've seen him do great work on it. Now, let's see for Wildcard. They're set up with their M4s, but because they've all committed to the M4s and they've already used that early util, they haven't got much left, and the round could already be under a bit of threat. JVA is toward back box. He's trying not to show his hand until it's absolutely necessary, and at least he gets away with that 1-for-1. Means they have to scramble to collect the bomb. That's going to be a decent Molotov. It's actually between the two smokes. Fuzi takes some damage to it, but he's not burning for now. Trying to deny that plant, but Button's going to save it. Wow. Goodness me. 4v3. Suspect's taking nade damage. I think they might be disconnected from this one.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was going to say maybe Stan catches off Nikis, but looks the wrong way at the wrong time, and now it's a full-on save for Sonic and Susp, and this CT side does not get any better in the early goings for Wildcard. 3-0 for Legacy. Exceptionally clean pistol round. I'm not even sure any damage was dealt by Wildcard in it. And then afterwards, didn't lose a body here. They only lose Lato. Or excuse me, lost one in the previous round, one here. Doesn't really matter. Their economy is already sailing sky high. Wildcard, yeah.
One thing I will say about both these two teams, right, is when they get up and running, we know how ridiculous the streaks have kind of been over the last 2 days. They play these rounds out with pace as well, which I think is pretty interesting. And Wildcard got their streak on T Inferno. That seemed like it was done very quickly. And likewise for Legacy's T Dust2. So, really a good time, I think, for Legacy to win their clean 3-0 start. They've already using a timeout to discuss what's next and what to do. They know it's a wonderful opportunity to right the wrongs of yesterday. A lead they should have converted.
Well, Wildcard couldn't right the wrongs on Dust2. See if Legacy can on Ancient. Otherwise, Wildcard will be the ones headed to ESL Challenger Katowice 2024.
And I'll talk about that team list a little bit later when we get nearer the finish line of the map. But, yeah, it's going to be a stacked event. One of the most stacked challenges of the year. Oh, my word. They go through the smoke. John, why did they go through the smoke?
I don't know. Legacy, sometimes their own worst enemy with how quickly they push out. Lato could be at risk here. Absolutely is. The P250 enough to do the damage. And another Wildcard eco saves the day for the squad. Well, maybe not yet, because it still says Ian and Barton alive here. And Barton actually makes it a 3v2. JBA waiting here in such an off angle. There's one and the second. Transfer comes through. 4K for JBA, and he is awakening here on Ancient a lot sooner than he did yesterday, which can only spell trouble for Legacy.
Oh, wow. The gun rounds we know have been issues for Wildcard, but they have had no issues winning these low investments.
No, yeah.
Sure, they had a number of guns in that particular round, but it's really is just JBA with the 5-7 that really starts it off. Then Stan manages to get a cheeky P250 kill on Shelf just when they think he should get taken down. Following round though, Legacy try and right the wrong of it, knowing that it was mid last time that got caught off, and Sonic is caught with his pants down, to be honest, trying to get back toward Donut. And immediately it switches back round again. Wildcard on these gun rounds after they win these half investments just don't seem to be a good mixture.
Maybe they should just stick with the pistols for Wildcard on the follow-up rounds instead of fully investing. I mean, they might even go for an eco here. If no one goes B, they're just stacking the site, and if Wildcard goes, or excuse me, if Legacy goes there, then they'll be fine. But otherwise, it's probably a save, and it's not going to be B. It is full on A. I imagine Wildcard are going to call this off, and it's such a shame after winning such an unlikely round. JBA of 4K. To end up with this as the result in the follow-up.
Yeah, Demar straight in for it. Flashes were good. First kill was easy. Second kill, Sonic knew he had to try and get away. He knew he had to cross toward a better position in Donut, and when he tried to, Almost got caught before he rounded the angle as well. Legacy trying to feel out for these saving wildcard players too. Pushing for more. Watching no one low enough to get caught by an HE. Trying to sell a little bit of a ruse right now. There's no one coming in from behind, but that smoke up that the CTs have put down, there should be no risk, and they will survive with 3.
JVA with a beautiful 2K there, pushing up into A main, finding both Barton and Dumau. Oh my goodness. Great play this time. Yesterday we saw them going for those pushes a lot, right? On the wildcard side, and it just wasn't working. They were immediately denied every single time, but this time JVA looks way sharper.
It's a good sign. And doing it kind of all by himself as well. Legacy are kind of restarting the round almost, unfortunately, in a 3 versus 5. They're back in spawn, throwing their spawn utility off the back of Neckies. And they're going to try and get some B lane control. And there's a way they can maybe get Sads in on an angle to get an entry. They could still get back into this. There is some jump spots coming through, of course, and I think now they've got some intel, wildcard, as to what Legacy are planning. They are still going to go in for this one. Susp on the line. Got support directly behind him. Flash over the top. It's going to be very hard to clear it, especially to get past Sonic as well. And they actually get a 2 for 1, but Stan is still here, and I don't think they're going to expect that third. They're going to be checking that cave position, but not the box. And Stan rears his head to get one more. Can Sadzin isolate any one of these next 3? He's worried about the flank, of course. He knows that Fuzi is there, and he's going to go looking for this one. No scope up close. That's brilliant. And now there are 2 more players he knows that are on the site, but unfortunately he's burning. He had to try it, didn't he? He couldn't just let them get onto the bomb and defuse. He had to try and push through the molly and get one, and then maybe hop back behind the fire again. But, yeah, wildcard, get it done as they should.
Wow. Yeah, and it all starts with JBA. I mean, he's the reason why that wildcard are able to convert that round and find themselves a second. At the end, I mean, they just played it well and kind of went for those trades, and Stanislaw just completely unexpected to be hanging out in cave, and he saw that as he gets an easy one. And the last player, I mean, Sadzin, there was an argument. He could have just said, okay, forget about the bomb. I'll save the op into the next round, but he really wanted to give it a shot, and there was absolutely no chance with an incendiary and a Molotov thrown down right on ramp. First frag for Dumau. Gets JBA looking the wrong way. Sonic finds the trade, and then Stan supports as well to find Lato. Stan jumping around, still alive somehow. I feel like he's going to fall here, and he finally does, but it's actually spam going both ways, and somehow, throughout all of this chaos, it is 3v2 in favor of Wildcard, and they have Sadzin and Nikis bottled up. Nade sails through, does a little bit of damage to both players. But Wildcard are taking a few steps back now and going back to the bomb sites.
Pretty wild. The round begins with Sonic not being obviously be able to see the boost that catches JBA. The recovery was decent considering the madness. And now Sus just needs to be careful he doesn't get caught out for free, because if he does, the rotations aren't exactly very close. Mid and A are being glanced at. It's all down to the timing for Sus, but of course he hasn't seen the cross of Sadzin, but thankfully it goes the other way, because of course Nikis doesn't know that he's there. Now Sus knows that Sadzin is in position. In 25 seconds. He's going to try and fall away. He does have time for this, but
yeah.
I don't think he's going to have much chance in the round.
I think you could get the plant here. Yeah, they're not really expecting to go to the A site, so plant's certainly secured. Far from over. We saw JBA pull off a similar round yesterday, and that was a 1v4. this one's technically easier. Zadzine going to be backing off. No util available for him. No smoke on the wildcard side. Do have the incendiary in the flash. If you throw that incendiary in the right spot, I think it's enough to fend him off. And yeah, that's not the right spot. Zadzine still got the ability to peek around the corner. Doesn't realize they're defusing the bomb, though. Will fly around and eventually is dead to right. Boozy finds the last one, and it will be a third for Wildcard. That's a much better start now for Wildcard than it was yesterday. This is the response they didn't have on their CT side. Now you're looking at Legacy with a half buy at most coming through into this round. In fact, it'll just be some upgraded pistols. Yumal, the only player with armor, and the lone piece of util. I should say there's two pieces of util, a smoke and a flash.
Yeah, they're going to try to make something happen, and a plant would be really nice. They get the smoke down on the other side, and then, you know what? They're actually going to get the plant.
That's absurd.
The goal of the round has been completed. Stan might even be on for an anti-eco ace here. I wonder when the last time Stanislaw got an ace recorded on HLTV. That actually is something that I might want to look for now. But you might not get it, unfortunately. It's JVA to steal it away. My stat search has been ruined. I'm going to look for it anyway, John, you know? I may as well. Now I brought it up, I've spiked my curiosity. It might be really recent.
He's had one recently, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, over the last 3 months, I think he has one. Yeah.
Okay, I'll look.
Now.
Oh, you're checking. Okay.
It says he has 5 4Ks and 1 ace over the last month. Oop.
You've had a disconnection from the server, I'm afraid. It happens.
It does. We can talk more about Stanislaw's ace.
We can. Go on, talk to me.
I don't know when he had the ace, though. I don't know if you want to dig into that a little bit more, but I do recall that maybe it wasn't the last 3 months, but I've seen him get aces in North America in particular, like in some of those ESL Challenger matches. So, you know, he's a player that can pop off sometimes too. But in that situation, I mean, just anti-ecos, and he's just literally flicking around and holding down mouse 1 and controlling his spray up against unarmored bodies, and you know it just kind of all falls his way.
It doesn't, obviously, it's not a hugely impactful ace. I was just curious because, you know, it's a player that's been around for such a long time, and it's like I have seen stats, 1 or 2 stats in the past where like an OG player has got, I think it was actually Apex if I remember correctly, for in a Vitality game. He got an ace on like a big event LAN, and it was the first ace he had gotten since like 2019 or something. Like it was like a 5-year gap or something ridiculous. So, you know, it's I'm the sort of person that, you know, I put my nerd glasses on and say, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I love that stat, you know.
Well, I mean, over his, I agree with you, by the way. It's always cool having those type of stats. I'm also similar to you. I like to point those types of things out. But I just looked over his career because I was curious, and he's got 1,669 maps played over his entire career, at least on HLTV, and has 27 aces. So that's not that bad. That seems like a pretty decent number. I'm sure if you compare it to other players who are not IGLs, it's going to be much higher. But yeah,
that's something. It's something to talk about. And they're actually, just to give you a bit of a rundown right now, the sort of the situation. We're waffling on around about like a player's ace stats, but Wildcard are now back in the game pretty much. Like they've completed the eco very comfortably. They've managed to obviously giving up the plant will be a little bit frustrating for them, but it is what it is. Legacy had a plan in place to get that plant, and they managed to get it down inside of a smoke with like 1 bullet from death to spare, I guess you could say. So. Yeah, I think for the sake of Wildcard, it was very important for them to win it cleanly. They did. And I think now it's still back to anyone's game. Legacy looked like they had a much better start. And yeah, I think it's important for them to make sure they don't get caught off one of these big streaks again that we've seen so much over the last few days.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm just happy to see a competitive matchup here in this first half of Ancient, because yesterday it was Dust2, complete blowout. In favor of Legacy after that start, and then it started on Ancient in the same direction and didn't really get better until the second half. Now we're seeing that back and forth that, two teams of this caliber should be having on a map number 3. So we'll see how Wildcard can kind of get themselves going, but I feel like it's unlikely we'll get like that similar type of situation as we saw yesterday with the team just bouncing back and forth with win streaks on either side. Still waiting to find out exactly what happened here, guys, as to if there's an issue with the server or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, I might be able to.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can ask an admin what's going on here.
Yes.
Excuse my typing on stream. It's very unprofessional of me, but I'm finding information for the viewers. So, so yeah, I will get the answer for you. I can assure you when it comes through after my message has been read. But for now, we haven't been able to get back into the server. Maybe it was a pre-server crash. So we'll figure out exactly what's gone wrong, and I'll let you know exactly what it is. But while we figure it out, we're going to throw it to a quick break, and we'll hopefully be back ASAP.
All right, so the magic break solved things immediately. Go to break and the match starts. We're back into things here, guys. All knotted up at 4. And Wildcard, I mean, they've had quite a resurgence here in this first half. They're looking much stronger than they did yesterday. He's, at least on their CT side, he's having to back off here after an attempted foray in towards A main. And probably a good idea because look who's there. JBA, oh, Sonic, taking down to 17 there.
Yeah, straight up wallbang through the wood. Back, of course. Can confirm it was just a straight up server crash. So when we got disconnected, everyone did. So we're back in now, straight away. Quick reset. And the damage, as I say, quite significant on Sonic, and that could be a problem. He's going to actually go searching in toward Jag, and he's got teammate support with Stan to peek off of his contact. Decent setup considering the situation for Sonic's health. Plenty of utility firing in toward that position though, and there is an HE on Nekiz, but in the end, Sonic, it doesn't even matter if they don't check the angle. If you're low HP, it doesn't matter, you'll still find kills. And that's a really important 2-piece. It means that Fuzi can activate toward Nekiz as well. And Wildcard back in the ascendancy after the quick pause.
Talk about value out of a low HP player. JBA gets Dumao there, and you see Sadzine just falling back saying, nope, not going to do any of this. He's hoping to keep that op in his hands. I don't know if he will be able to, because look where JBA is. He's gone all the way into T-spawn. As soon as Sadzine comes around the corner, wow, the timing in JBA's favor for a moment, but Sadzine catches him on the re-peek and then gets the other one. Stanislaw gone. They really want to take this op out of his hands, but I think at this point they're saying, guys, CT economy, let's make sure that stays healthy. Not going to chase him any further, so good job from Sadzine hanging on to the op. As Legacy, they could justify a buy-up here.
And they're going to go for it. When you can get Galil's in play with utility and a Mac 10, then absolutely why not? Only one a bit of util on Nekiz. He has to actually only get Kevlar, not even a helmet, to afford what he wants.
Legacy trying to go fast there, but they kind of got caught off, and the nade chases Sadzine around the corner, and they're going to completely back off. The two players did manage to make it out towards the B site and B ramp, but they're kind of stuck here, surrounded by a couple of smokes. Legacy, I would imagine, want to gain some mid control again. Yeah, that's the plan. Two players in cave for Wildcard. Not sure if Legacy are going to expect that. We saw Sonic do some good work in the corner before. This time Stanislaw just straight off facing against Legacy. Do they expect it? Not at all. Great shot and crosshair placement. Could get the second as well. No, runs out of bullets. Lato manages to get the swing with the MAC-10, upgrades himself to the AK on the ground from his fallen comrade. Uzi, waiting with the op. They have the flashes? Yeah, a couple. Utah's actually really light for Legacy. That could be a problem here.
Bomb is now rotating all the way back round to A, and that'll be the right call. Of course, we know that A is probably the most left open site in the game because of how retakeable it is. Well, kind of gambled. 3B, 1 checking mid, and I think they've completely missed the timing on this one. So Legacy will probably be allowed to make their way through. Of course, they're not to know what's going on, and Sonic can get a quick rotation through Donut here. And Fuzi is going to be here, but he might have to try and timing a shot through a smoke or break it open with the nade, looking for it, and that's a beautiful shot. But the main man, Sonic, who's probably in the best position, 4 seconds with a plant, they're trying to fight for it, and that's exactly what they do. Oh, what a way to get it done. Fuzi, even on that low HP, knew that he had a chance to deny the opportunity for the plant, and that's exactly what he does.
Wow, beautiful stuff. I thought Sonic would be the one to deny the plant, honestly, given his positioning in Donut, but they actually catch him off immediately. Wildcard don't stop pressing, and they know, like you were saying, how little time was left on the clock, and a bomb plant denial would be the round, even if they all fall, and they don't, actually. They keep 3 alive, they take care of all the Legacy players, and they get a 6 under their belts. Money is running out for Legacy. They're forcing up. It's going to be 3 Galils, a Tech 9, and a MAC-10. Util sailing forward. Wildcard trying to keep the pressure on. Stanislaw holding a close angle. They're going to overlook him. There's one, not a second, but Susp is right there to punish further. Almost finds Barton, but Barton is down to 11 HP in the 3v3. There's still a nade out, a couple of them, in fact, and there it is. Fuzi had it through the smoke and the wall. Fuzi gets the op shot. A little bit of luck going a long way, and the keys flanked out by Sonic. Wildcard in full control of this half now, 7-4 in their favor.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done from Fuzi. He's had a lot of impact in the last couple of rounds and, of course, the entire series, but especially this moment here. Legacy seemed in control of the economy and in control of the game a few rounds ago, but that is now ancient history. Wildcard 7-4. Quick rebuttal. It's a great denial of opportunities on these sites, both sites now. That second shot from Fuzi was dirty.
Well, Legacy decided to go faster in towards the A site this time. Yumao's already boosted up at tree. That incendiary can cause problems? Maybe? It's just an incendiary. Yeah, Dumao just pops around that corner, takes care of Saz. Sonic as well, but Sonic does manage to get 1 frag before he falls, making the retake a little bit more feasible. In fact, Stan gets the bomb planter, JBA finds Lato, and it's now a 3v2 in favor of Wildcard. The bomb out in the open. Sad's, what a shot. Wow. You gotta be kidding me. On to Stanislaw, upgrades himself to a Galil. Still winnable now for Legacy. JBA holding his nerve in Temple. And Sadzine just waiting on that angle. They still have to get the bomb back. Tons of time to do it. They've grabbed it. Sadzine pushing in. JBA wants this. He wants Sadzine to come around the corner, and he's playing in a bit of an off angle. No! Sadzine clears it. Fuzi actually managed to take out Barton. Now it's a 1v1. Sadzine knows exactly where to look. Great little jump and movement, and that will make it 7-5 in favor of Wildcard as we head to the second half break.
No need to be shy, no. 1, 2, 3, oh, I want you near. I need you in my life, boy. Oh, I feel like you and me got this chemistry. One look at you and my heart explodes. Just let me be the one you keep. I'll be right here through the hot and cold. But I'll be loyal to you. just come over? Won't you come closer? Yeah, just come over. Oh, hey. 1, 2, 3, just get over here. No need to be shy now. 1, 2, 3, oh, I want you near. I need you in my life, boy. Alright. 1, 2, 3, just get over here. No need to be shy now. 1, 2, 3, oh, I want you near. I need you in my life, boy. Rolling on a feeling, knowing I must go on. If I don't do it now, I will never have it. Dreaming is deceiving, falling to slumber. If I don't do it now, someone else will grab it. If I don't get, I wanted it so long. It's taking me some time. I tell myself don't stop.
All right, let's get started here. Final half of this qualifier. Wildcard go into it with a 7-5 lead. Felt like it was going to be 8-4, but Legacy somehow, some way, pull out the win to make it as close as it, almost as close as it can be. In fact, every first half has been great, Travis. The second halves have all been blowouts.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Let's see if that pattern gets switched up here. Dumal gets a really nice opening kill, and they're going to allow Wildcard to get the plant down. Stan will get that down, and Fuzi's got an advanced angle. Shadow spotted. He knows that Sadzin is close in. He might try and be assertive and go for the kill first. He actually tries to crouch into it, but he gets removed. They're trying to push for the kills here, Wildcard, because they're so far behind in the round. JVA can only get one. And Sus will get caught by Sadzin in the end. He does really well in the overall round there, does Sadzin. And Lato will defuse to close the gap to 1.
All right, well, at least for Wildcard, they get the bomb plant here. Extra $600 out of their bank accounts. I imagine that will justify a force buy in this round. They could opt to go lighter, though, and wait for round number 3. I doubt they will. Yeah, there we go. Immediately, Stanislav buying up an AK. Actually meant for the Galil, and that means he gets a little more util. AK is available here. They're tossing it around, and eventually it'll end up in Sonic's hands. JBA and Fuzi on a MAC-10, and actually Fuzi going to give the MAC-10 to Sus. Okay. A little bit of hot potato here with the guns from Wildcard, but in the end they're going to go in towards this A site. 3 players, in fact 4 players into A main. 1 player waiting on top of big box. It's not something you see every day here on the A site defensive Ancient. That's Zine holding that. Wildcard deciding that A site isn't for them today, or at least right now. They're going to rotate off completely back through T-spawn towards the B site.
Yesterday, of course, this matchup absolutely went down to the wire. And obviously exactly the same game last night. Now this is the one to qualify for that LAN in Poland, though, in Katowice. This is the one that matters for both these two. And it's we're no closer to finding out which way it's going to go. Smoke into a cave. Pushing up ramp. Lots of damage done. He does well to find one. Lato is here. Button is here. And unfortunately for Wildcard, they have walked into the crossfire. Very well set up crossfire there from Legacy. And this could be a very clean round as well. JBA is caught with the Deagle. Sadzine does really well. He's up to 14 and 6 now. And Legacy can get a good hot start on their CT side.
Yeah, definitely feels like going to be an 8th coming through from Legacy, so they'll get that lead back in their hands. On the Wildcard side, okay, hold on a second. The minute you see upgraded pistols from Wildcard and a little bit of body armor, you might get scared for Legacy, for good reason, because there's been a lot of eco round victories for Wildcard here in this series. 2 Deagles, 3 Glocks, sus with the armor. Nade sails through and does a little bit of damage to Sonic. Okay, yep, nothing happened in there for Sus. Takes a shot and Lato just rips his head clean off. Lato going for the spam here through the panel. But as it stands, not looking great for Wildcard.
T-sides have been the, as we've kind of touched on, been the order of the day for both teams. On the first 2 maps, they've recovered the game to win out some very, very clean and well thought out T-halves, especially wildcards on Inferno. But this one is feeling like it's going to be a bit more back and forth. It's just Sonic's Deagle remaining, being the main threat, and he should get caught by the MP9. Absolutely will. 1 shot he was allowed, and 1 shot he will not connect. Dumal will clean up with the MP9. Well done, Legacy. Their money is bolstered.
To get that early start on the CT economy for the Legacy side. Now Wildcard have the AKs out. Not full util, but almost to that point. And they appear to want to split things up a little bit, potentially into a default, which Stan likes to play. Throw that incendiary, or excuse me, the Molotov out towards mid, and oh no! What a nade stack coming through from Legacy. They catch Stanislav, and Dumal gets a follow-up on Sonic. Thankfully for Wildcard, JBA manages to get the shot onto Dumal to make things a little bit closer instead of being in a 5v3 or perhaps even a 5v2. Now the 4v3. Wildcard are trying to regroup themselves towards this B site. They will have a man advantage on this site if they decide to push, but Legacy forces them back with another smoke thrown. And we'll see how much longer Stanislav and the rest of his troops, or his surviving troops, because he's down, will be waiting, I should say, to push through. 2 players over at short B here, Trav, Lato and Barton.
Wildcard trying to make their way. And they will be able to get a plant, you would think, but Lato might be able to catch a leg. Obviously, that pillar is not exactly the safest bit of cover. And of course, with Incendiary in play, Fuzi actually does incredibly to find 1. And it makes it possible for Susp and JBA. There's a flank to worry about, of course, of Neki is coming in here, and Susp is aware of that possibility. Molly to maybe make more time available, and JBA will swing for Lato. That's huge, but Neki is coming so late toward Cave. It makes it so difficult for JBA. He has to try and hop away. He's done exactly that, but there should be no way he gets the kill, and Neki's will save it. And gets there in time for the defuse. Great stuff from Legacy. That was a well thought out retake. And the fact they delayed Neki so long in toward Jag was the main reason that worked out so well.
Yeah, and it felt like JBA's frag was a pivotal moment and it could have led to Wildcard's round victory, but you're right. Like that push, I think, into Cave and Jaguar was phenomenal in terms of timing, and it takes out one of the pieces and leaving JBA in a tough spot. JBA almost pulls it off, like jumping around, trying to fade away and play the timer. Almost hits his spray as well, but it's just not enough. Bomb plant means, though, but they'll be able to get another buy on through here with that full loss bonus. And JBA again strikes true. The thing is, Nikis finding Sonic. JBA continues to push forward, but right into the op of Sadzine, who immediately diverts his attention towards A main, which is the right idea, because Wildcard are trying to go in fast here and potentially overload that op. There it is, an attempt, but Sadzine finds his second and gets to reset for a follow-up. Even though he loses a teammate, this is trending exceptionally well for Legacy, and Barton finds the second to last player. Stan's going to fake the plant onto A, and I think he's maybe going to run to B. He's got a lot of time.
I mean, this is... If he was full health, I would say this is, there's a slight chance this could be a cheeky one, but Lato already realizes the possibility of what's going on and checks mid. If Stan ran all the way through to Shelf, he probably would have got there without being heard. And got there in time to maybe get a plant, but obviously probably was unlikely to win the round. And Legacy, 10-7. Creeping ever closer to another LAN appearance. Wildcard, of course, have got ESL Challenger Atlanta coming up very soon, which, of course, you'll be going to, Mr. JRT. Be fun to see how Wildcard do there. But if we want to share challenges, then Legacy will be the ones that should be taking this one. Wildcard will want to take them all for themselves.
For sure.
But this is now a tough one to come back from. 10-7 down. It's a Tech 9 buy coming in.
I'm going to say 8th round for Wildcard right here. I just feel it. You got the Tech 9s.
Because of their half by prowess in this entire series.
Yes.
I get it.
And also because they're going to push the A site, which is typically left quite open. Sadzine's been in Temple pretty consistently, but there you go. Just actually, it doesn't hit a shot. Dumalo sprays down Stanislav, but the smokes are good. One is broken. They can't get a frag off of it. In fact, it's Sonic with the Tech 9 finding Dumalo. Bomb going to be planted throughout all of that chaos, and 3 players coming from CT. In fact, all 4 are from the CT position here, meaning there's no pressure from Donut, and Wildcard have 3 players stacked up in there. The only one on site is Fuzi. He's got the upgraded M4. Ooh, incendiary sails through, and so much damage done. Wildcard feels like they're going to be able to pull this off. The Keys finally takes down Sus to make it a 3v3, and now a 3v2. Last 2 players over, and Donut trying to delay. Barton's trying to defuse the bomb, looking to stick that. Can they get the frag on him? No, they do. Is there enough time for a defusal? We'll see. It's going to be down to the wire here. No, bomb's going to explode. Wildcard do get the 8th. Trav.
Oh, seeing that from the player's POV they were trying to save the defuse, right? Trying to cover their teammates, trying to body block for the round.
Yeah.
It was very unfortunate because they had the low HP player holding the bomb. I think they had more than one kit, right? So I feel like one of the high health players, the 3 players alive, I should have one of the 2 high health players holding the defuse, whichever one had the kit. Now the low HP player and the other high health player trying to hold off, because just one stray bullet, whether it's a bullet through the teammate as well, which could have easily taken him down, which I think actually was pretty close to what actually happened. And that could get Wildcard a massive lifeline. Those half buys have kind of kept them in the maps they've played this series in the entire evening thus far. Half investments been huge for them, and now how that swings that CT economy too. Look at that. Suddenly they've got a 5v4 in the following round with Legacy having no residual cash. If this gets converted, it's 10-9, likely 10-all. And Legacy, after being in such a good position, of course, don't forget they were 11-7 up yesterday. And of course that JBA stunning JBA 1v4 happened yesterday at 11-9. It really got Wildcard back into it. Is it happening again?
Maybe. See, Wildcard already onto this B site. Sadzine through the smoke, connects on to Stan, but JBA does the same towards Lato, and it's back and forth smoke frags. They don't even see each other. They're just going for spam on the common angles, and finally ends up being a 3v2 in favor of Wildcard. There's the bomb planted. Nikis in a cheeky spot. He should be able to get one for free here. There it is. 2v2. AK upgrade at his feet as well. as he throws that flashbang in to try and support Sadzin's advance. And there's one back and forth. Boozy pressures on and can't get it. The Keys wins the round, and Legacy do indeed find 11.
Oh my word, Keys does so well there, man. I mean, we've kind of touched on a couple of times over the last few days when these two teams have gone up against each other. He's not really the man that Legacy looked toward for the fragging. He is kind of a supportive element, obviously a leader as well, and yeah, I think he's done very, very well in this game. He's won a couple of critical clutches, and that one, he's played it to perfection pretty much. Goes for a half swing, knows that Fuzi's got the AWP in a tough position, forces him to jump back away, and in the end actually hits 2 P2000 headshots, which is actually not that easy when you're under pressure. Of course, he didn't have much ammo left in the MP9. He does quite a lot of that work. Critical. 2 away from the LAN, and Sadzin in the following round will peek wide, but can't hop to safety. So this push up toward B still has a chance of wildcard to work, but considering they've lost the next kill and Stanislaw still has the bomb on his back, they won't commit.
Yeah, they're gonna go for a mid-round rotate. Oh, and the Keys cuts one off, maybe even the second as well. Dumal's around the corner. This feels like a 12th for Legacy. Yeah, util in hand for Sonic. JBA isolated alone. Another 1v4 opportunity. This time gets nada. 12-8 in favor of Legacy. This time they have 4 opportunities to close out the series and secure their spot in ESL Challenger Katowice 2024.
And the worst part for Wildcard is they don't even have a full gun round in the following. Sure, they do get 4 rifles, but it's 3 Galils and a MAC-10. Utility is okay, it's enough. This is now tough. And Legacy desperately trying to right the wrongs of yesterday. Doing a fantastic job at the moment, winning the tough rounds, winning the important situations. Nikis has gone pretty big to save this game. And Sadzin, I think he might have just got a bit of a collateral there, did he? I'm not sure. He was blinded up in Donut, he got the first kill, and Sonic's down to 12 HP out of nowhere. That could be the first nail in the wildcard coffin. Button's pushing down, you should absolutely check that corner, and he will. 3 players on B, there was support for a trade anyway. And now, Wildcard in such a tough position. Low HP on Sonic. He's trying to bait in Sus for the trade, but it's just not going to happen. He'll get taken down, and Stan will be removed as well. Fair play to Legacy. They absolutely chucked it yesterday, but when it truly mattered, they made up for what went wrong, and they'll be the final team making it into Katowice.
Honestly, fantastic play from Legacy throughout the entire qualifier. I think they impressed both of us in terms of their fast